Hello, I'm David Harper. Somewhere in this country right now, there's a list of things you are legally allowed to stop paying for the moment you turn 65, and almost nobody has ever seen the whole list written out in one place. Some of it is a government benefit sitting quietly in plain sight. Some of it is a tax credit that only shows up if you specifically claim it. Some of it requires one form filled out once that most seniors never even know exists. And the gap between the senior who knows this list and the senior who doesn't isn't small. It's thousands of dollars a year, every year, for the rest of their life. There's also a change landing in just a few days. On July 3rd, that's about to put more money automatically into the pockets of seniors across this country. And I'm saving the single most valuable item on this entire list for the very end, because it's the one people leave unclaimed more than anything else I cover on this channel. So stay with me to the finish. Here's exactly what I'm going to do for you over the next several minutes. I'm walking through the full list, the credits, the rebates, the free services, the exemptions, and for every single one, I'll tell you who actually qualifies and exactly how to claim it. In plain language, no jargon. This isn't a scheme, and I'm not selling you anything in this video. This is money that already belongs to you, built from rules your own government and your own province put in place, funded by decades of your own taxes. My job is simply making sure you're actually collecting what's already yours. Before we get into the list, do one thing for me. Subscribe to this channel and tap the bell, because information like this gets buried in government websites nobody reads, and most seniors only stumble onto each item years after they could have already been using it. Hit subscribe now, and let's go through the full list, starting with the one that's changing this very week. Let's start here because the timing actually matters. For years, lower and modest income Canadians have received a quarterly payment called the GST and HST credit, money sent out to offset the sales tax you pay on everyday purchases. It's completely tax-free, it never counts towards your income, and it never even shows up as a line on your tax return. Here's what's new. As of July 3rd, 2026, that credit is being replaced by a larger payment, the Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit. And for the people who qualify, the new amount comes in at 25% higher than the old credit ever was. Same basic idea, a noticeably bigger deposit, and it's still entirely tax-free. On top of the regular quarterly amount, the government already issued a separate one-time top-up payment back in June, extra money on top of the increase. Again, completely tax-free, and again, it only reached people who had actually filed their taxes. You don't apply for any of this separately. The one thing standing between you and this money is your tax return, because every dollar of it is calculated directly from what you filed. Every single year, seniors who assumed filing wasn't worth it because they didn't owe anything end up missing this payment entirely. If that's ever described you, that ends today. File your return, and the July payment finds you automatically. The second place a senior in this country stops paying full price is at the pharmacy counter. The day you turn 65, you become eligible for your province's senior drug plan, and most people have no idea how generous that coverage actually is. In Ontario, for example, the Ontario drug benefit switches on automatically the first day of the month after your 65th birthday. You don't apply for it, you're simply covered. From that point forward, instead of paying full retail for a prescription, you pay a yearly deductible of $100 total, and then just a few dollars per prescription after that. And if your income is on the lower end, you can apply for the Seniors Co-Payment Program, which wipes that $100 deductible out completely and drops your cost down to $2 per prescription. Every province runs its own version of this. British Columbia, Alberta, all of them have a senior pharmacare program, but here's the detail that costs people the most money. That low-income top-up is almost never automatic. You have to apply for it specifically. If you're currently paying more than a couple of dollars per prescription, that's your signal to go check. The third one is for every senior who owns their home, and this is genuinely one I think about a lot, because it's where I watch people quietly bleed money year after year, your property tax bill. If you own your home, and you're a senior, You may not actually have to keep paying it the way you always have. In Ontario, there's the Senior Homeowners Property Tax Grant, up to $500 back every single year for homeowners 64 and older with modest income, and you claim it right on your tax return. In British Columbia, there's the Property Tax Deferment Program. If you're 55 or older, you can legally postpone paying your property tax through a low-interest government program, keeping that money in your own account now instead of handing it to the city. British Columbia did adjust how the interest works on that program for 2026, so it's worth checking the current terms before you assume the old numbers still apply. But the core option, pay it later instead of right now, is still very much there for cash-strapped senior homeowners. The bigger point is this. In most provinces, there's some version of a property tax grant, deferral, or rebate built specifically for seniors, and it is one of the biggest, most ignored items on this entire list. Don't assume you're stuck paying that bill in full, on time, the way you always have. And since we're already talking about your home, here's one that actually pays you back for staying in it. If you're 65 or older, the Federal Home Accessibility Tax Credit lets you claim the cost of renovations that make your home safer and easier to live in. Grab bars in the bathroom, a walk-in tub, a wheelchair ramp, non-slip flooring, a stair lift, widening a doorway, all of it qualifies. You can claim up to $20,000 in expenses and get 15% of that back on your taxes. That's roughly $3,000 returned to you for work you may have already been planning to pay for in full. Most seniors do these renovations and never realize the government quietly covers a meaningful chunk of the bill. If you're planning to stay in your own home as you age, and most people are, understand that you don't have to pay full price to make it safer. Keep your receipts and claim it at tax time. Now let me give you 3 that live directly inside your tax return, because the tax system itself stops charging you full price the moment you turn 65, and almost nobody claims all 3 of them. The first is the age amount. The moment you turn 65 by the end of the year, the government shields several $1,000s of your income from federal tax entirely, money you simply stop paying tax on, as long as your income stays modest, and it only fully disappears once your income climbs quite high. For a lot of seniors, that's well over $1,000 a year they shouldn't be handing over. Most tax software claims it automatically, but if someone is filing your return by hand, or you've genuinely never checked, make sure it's actually there. The second is the pension income amount. If you receive eligible pension income, you can claim up to $2,000 of it completely tax-free every single year. And the third, the one retired couples leave on the table constantly, is pension income splitting. If you and your spouse are both retired and one of you has a noticeably larger pension than the other, you're allowed to shift up to half of that eligible pension income onto your spouse's return, dropping you both into a lower tax bracket and cutting your household's total tax bill, sometimes by thousands of dollars. It's completely legal. The government built this rule on purpose, and it takes a single form at tax time. If you're a retired couple and you've never split your pension income, that's potentially the single most expensive thing you're not doing. Let me pause here, because I know exactly what some of you are thinking right now. This sounds too generous. If all of this were real, why isn't anyone telling me directly? And that's exactly the heart of the problem. Nobody is telling you because none of it is automatic, and there's no single office whose job it is to make sure you personally are getting everything you're entitled to. The transit company isn't going to call you. Your bank isn't going to volunteer the discount. The CRA processes what you claim. It doesn't chase you down to hand you more. The entire system is built on the assumption that you already know it exists. That's exactly why a list like this matters, and it's exactly why I want you keeping a pen nearby right now, because we're only about halfway through. The next one is dental coverage, and this is a genuinely new lifeline that simply didn't exist for most seniors a couple of years ago. The Canadian Dental Care Plan now covers seniors 65 and older. As long as you're a Canadian resident, you've filed your taxes, you don't have private dental insurance, and your adjusted family net income sits under $90,000. If your family income is under $70,000, the plan covers your eligible dental work with nothing owed at the chair, no co-payment at all, cleanings, exams, fillings, dentures, the exact things seniors put off for years because the bill felt frightening. If you've been avoiding the dentist because of cost and you don't have private coverage, it's worth checking whether you qualify, because this one alone is worth hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars a year. And dental isn't the only kind of care that gets cheaper or completely free once you become a senior. Your provincial health plan starts covering things it makes everyone else pay for out of pocket. Take your eyes. In Ontario, the moment you turn 65, OHIP covers a full eye exam roughly every 18 months, and every 12 months if you have a condition like diabetes, glaucoma, or cataracts, no referral required and no bill at the end. You simply walk in with your health card. Many provinces restore optometry coverage for seniors in almost exactly the same way, and it doesn't stop there. Most provinces fund vaccines specifically for seniors that younger adults are stuck paying for out of pocket: the high-dose senior flu shot, the shingles vaccine, and many provinces run free or subsidized foot care and podiatry clinics for older adults, because keeping seniors mobile and healthy is cheaper for the system than the alternative. None of this gets announced anywhere. So once you turn 65, ask your pharmacist and your doctor one simple question: what does my province cover for me now that it didn't cover last year? You'll be surprised how often the answer is something you've been quietly paying for. Then there's getting around your own city. Nearly every transit system in this country gives seniors a break the general public doesn't get, and in some cities, it's completely free. Many transit systems offer free or deeply discounted fares starting at $60 or $65. Some run free travel on certain days of the week. Some offer a flat senior's pass for a fraction of the regular cost. But just like everything else on this list, it isn't handed to you automatically. You apply through your local transit authority with proof of age, and you receive a senior's card. If you're still tapping a full fare card every time you ride, you may be paying for trips you were already entitled to take for free. And the same habit pays off well beyond the bus. Your library, your local pool and recreation center, many museums and galleries, provincial parks and campgrounds, even movie theaters, a huge number of them have a senior's rate that is never advertised at the till. It will not appear on its own, and the cashier will rarely offer it first. The two most profitable words you can say after turning 65 are simply, "Is there a senior's discount?" Get into the habit of asking it everywhere, every time, because over a full year, those small ones quietly add up to real money. Here's one almost no working senior knows exists. If you're 65 or older, you're still working, and you've already started collecting your CPP retirement pension, you can actually stop paying into CPP entirely. There's a specific form, the CPT-30, that you hand to your employer, and from that point forward, your CPP contributions simply stop coming off your paycheck, putting that money straight back in your pocket on every single pay period. You're still allowed to keep working exactly as much as you like. You just stop being charged for a pension you're already collecting. Most people have no idea this form exists, and they keep contributing for years simply because nobody ever handed it to them. And here's a small one that quietly adds up every single month: your own bank account. Most of Canada's major banks will rebate or fully waive the monthly fee on your account once you reach senior age, usually 60 or 65 depending on the bank. It might only be a handful of dollars a month, but that's still money leaving your account every month for a service your bank is fully willing to give you for free. They will almost never apply it on their own. You have to call or walk in and ask directly, "Do you waive the monthly fee for seniors, and am I actually getting it?" 5 minutes, and it's done. Now let's finish the list, because I saved the biggest one for the very end. The single most valuable thing a lower-income senior in this country can be receiving is the Guaranteed Income Supplement, the GIS. It's a monthly, completely tax-free payment that sits on top of your old age security, built specifically for seniors with little or no income beyond their public pension, and year after year, it remains one of the most underclaimed benefits in the entire country. Tens of thousands of seniors who genuinely qualify for it aren't receiving it, often for the simplest reason imaginable. They stopped filing a tax return, so the government has no way to confirm they're even eligible. Here's the rule that unlocks it. File your taxes every single year, even with zero income, and make sure you've actually applied for GIS. Because for many seniors, it does not simply start on its own. If you're getting by on OAS and not much else, and you're not currently receiving GIS, that could be hundreds of tax-free dollars a month you're going without. And it doesn't stop at the federal check. Several provinces add their own monthly top-up on top of GIS for low-income seniors. In Ontario, it's called GAINS, the Guaranteed Annual Income System, and it can add up to roughly $90 more a month for a single senior, paid automatically once you're already receiving GIS. That's a second check stacked directly on top of the first, and most people don't even know it exists. Check whether your own province runs its own senior income supplement on top of the federal one, because when these two stack together, they genuinely change a retirement. And here's the key that unlocks nearly everything I've just walked you through, and it's free in itself. If filing a tax return feels like a chore, or if paying someone to do it has been holding you back, you can have it done for nothing at a free community tax clinic, staffed by volunteers working alongside the Canada Revenue Agency, specifically for seniors with modest incomes, at no charge whatsoever. Since filing is the single trigger that releases the Groceries and Essentials benefit, the GIS, the provincial top-ups, and several of the grants on this list, that free clinic may genuinely be the most valuable free thing on this entire list. You do not pay anything to claim what you're already owed. So let's bring this all together, because underneath every item on this list, the lesson is the same. The day you become a senior in this country, the rules genuinely shift in your favor, but only for the people who actually go and claim them. Here's your checklist, the one to write down and act on this week. File your tax return, no matter how small your income, because the Groceries and Essentials benefit, the age amount, and the GIS all flow directly from it. Check your province's senior drug plan and ask specifically about the low-income top-up. Look up your property tax grant or deferral program. Claim your age amount, your pension income amount, and if you're a couple, split your pension income. If you're making your home safer, claim the Home Accessibility Tax Credit and keep your receipts. Check whether you qualify for the dental plan if you don't have private coverage, and book the eye exam your province now covers. Get your senior's transit card and ask, is there a senior's discount everywhere you go? If you're working past 65 and already collecting CPP, file the form to stop contributing. Ask your bank to waive your monthly fee, and if filing your taxes has always been the hurdle, use a free community tax clinic, because filing is the single key that unlocks half of everything on this list. Not one item on this list is a favor, and not one of them happens automatically. They are already yours. You simply have to reach out and take them. If even one thing in this video put money back where it belongs, in your own pocket, do me a favor and send this video to one senior you care about, because I promise you, they are paying full price right now for something on this list without ever realizing they don't have to. And subscribe, because this is genuinely all I do here. I take the money this system quietly owes you, and I make sure you actually get it. I'm David Harper. Don't pay for what you're already entitled to receive for free, and I'll see you in the next one.